honored that you have chosen to be with us here this afternoon. My name is Rota HS, and I'm the senior class president. Joining me at the podium is the senior class treasurer, Juan Pablo Fuentes.
Buenas tardes, señoras y señores, invitados de honor, graduados, padres, familia y amigos. Bienvenidos a la ceremonia de graduación de la escuela David Glasgow Farragut. Nos sentimos honrados con su presencia. Ella es Olga Kenicki, la presidenta del curso de los seniors, y yo soy Juan Pablo Fuentes, el tesorero de la clase.
Please stand for the presentation of the colors by DGF School and JROTC Color Guard.
Por favor, levántense para la presentación de las banderas. Ahora me gustaría presentarles el director del instituto, el señor Dan Surface.
Good afternoon. Distinguished guests, esteemed faculty, family and friends of the class of David Glasgow Farragut, class of 2013, welcome. It is my honor to introduce to you Captain Greg Picari, Commander, U.S. Naval Activities Spain, Commanding Officer, United States Naval Station, Rota. Captain Picari is a 1989 graduate of the United States Naval Academy with a Bachelor of Science degree in Oceanography. He earned his Naval Flight Officer wings in 1991, was assigned to the S-3 Viking Squadron VS-31, and deployed on USS George Washington's maiden voyage in 1994. Follow-on tours included NATOPS Evaluator and Weapons Tactic Officer, Sea Control Wing Atlantic, and Future Operations Officer on the Commander 2nd Fleet Staff. More recently, Captain Picari deployed as a department head on board USS John Kennedy to the Arabian Gulf and as the maintenance officer on the USS Theodore Roosevelt in 2001 in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. Captain Picari earned his MBA from Naval Postgraduate School Monterey, California in 2002 and assigned to the Pentagon as the lead budget analyst for naval aviation procurement, research and development programs. Captain Picari transitioned to the P-3C Orion aircraft in 2005 and served as Executive Officer and Commanding Officer of Patrol Squadron 16. He then attended the Armed Forces Industrial College, earning a second master's degree, and most recently completed a highly successful 3-year tour working in the J-8 Directorate of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He is married to the former Abru Turker, and they have 2 daughters. Captain Picari.
Good afternoon and welcome to the graduation ceremony for the class of 2013. It is a special honor to join you all today on this momentous occasion. I want to extend a warm welcome to the parents, families, and friends of our graduates. But especially, I want to thank you for being the examples of love and caring, being the examples of hard work, dedication, and principled living to our graduates, because it has paid off today. You have given and shown them the tools needed to succeed in the future, and I thank you and welcome you as well. I would also like to welcome our teachers, faculty, and support staff of the David Glasgow Farragut High School. I too want to thank you for unselfishly sharing your time, talent, and knowledge with these wonderful students. You have allowed them to lead, to succeed, and through community service, learn other more important aspects of life, such as service to others. And finally, I want to welcome the graduating class of 2013. Just think about it. It was only 13 short years ago when you walked into a kindergarten classroom. And today, here you are, young adults and high school graduates. You have completed an education that will serve as the platform to launch yourselves into whatever future endeavors you choose to undertake. This ceremony also represents your ability to overcome the many challenges that you have encountered during the past several years. The friends and family of Naval Station Rota, both American and Spanish, we applaud your strength, your tenacity, and we wish each and every one of you good fortune and our very best wishes for your personal success in the future. Congratulations.
Brooks, Luke, will you join me on the stage? At this time, I would like to recognize and present the medals to the salutatorian and valedictorian. The valedictorian for the class of 2013 is Brooks Furley. Brooks has been a standout athlete in football, basketball, and baseball this year. Not only is he a member of the National Honor Society, but is the senior class representative to the Student Council. Brooks will be attending Marquette University on an ROTC scholarship. Brooks tells us that his lifetime goal is to be able to dunk a basketball. Our salutatorian is Luke Driscoll. Luke has been heavily involved in student leadership as president of the student body. He served as the captain of our cross-country and track teams. He's a member of National Honor Society, Future Business Leaders of America, and the Academic Bowl. Luke will be attending Harvard University in the fall. The advanced band, under the direction of Mr. Jason Fox, has a special presentation for us. Please listen as they play Centuria by James Swearingen.
Good judgment. Good judgment comes from experience, and experience comes from bad judgment. And bad judgment generally takes place in the good old days. For the past 4 years, the class of 2013 has been practicing bad judgment like professionals. So I guess that makes our high school years the good old days. We've been given opportunities that students back in America can't even fathom. We've traveled to England for sports trips, to Germany for academic conferences, and to Mr. Sabzern for bratwursts. We've taken part in amazing classroom experiences, like the time Mr. Caldwell snapped his class phone with a screwdriver. We've witnessed moments of unparalleled courage, like Lorenzo's passionate outburst at the pep rally. Our glory days have been filled with unforgettable memories like these. And these memories wouldn't have been created without the help of so many people. This is the part where I'm going to thank people who made an impact on my life at DGF. So if you're planning on falling asleep at all, this is the time to do it. I'm grateful to my English teachers, Mr. Birch, for your incredible facial expressions, and Mr. Lamb, for your stellar facial hair. Also, Mr. Demerit, for your APUSH class, the most interesting class I've taken in high school, and for our academic bowl trips, where you did push-ups in your suit and tie while we competed. That's a true story. To Mr. Streeter, my math teacher for the past 2 years and track coach, who may have the driest sense of humor out of anyone I've ever met. To Mr. Garrison for coaching us in cross-country and track, and for taking dodgeball very, very seriously. To Mrs. Boda for putting up with the best junior class to come through DGF. And to Mrs. Bond, I wouldn't have been so dedicated to my distance learning classes if it wasn't for you. To Mr. Caldwell for teaching the most intellectually stimulating class I've taken so far, and for embracing my rapping alter ego of pen money. To Mrs. Bastidas for an amazing letter of recommendation, and for allowing your daughter near someone like me. To Mr. Surface for being unflinchingly supportive of our goals in Student Council. And to Mr. Jacobs for being the greatest Student Council sponsor and personal mentor I've ever asked for. Thank you to the Wolfpack, Aspen Luna, Kevin Easton, and Natalie Craverath, along with all of the Student Council representatives for working so hard all year. Thank you to Gabby Bastidas for being my best friend and a smoking hot girlfriend. I love you. Thank you to Kesha for teaching me that the party don't start till I walk in. But most of all, thank you to my family for raising me to be the steaming chunk of attractive man flesh I am today. Mom, Cliff, Dad, Tiff, you're the most important people in my life. Thank you for everything you've done for me over the past 18 years. I owe you all so much. Like at least 12 or 13 bucks. Thank you to everyone who's contributed to our good old days. As the character Andy Bernard in the recent series finale of The Office said, I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them. So to the students who feel they haven't made the most out of their last 4 years and find themselves yearning for the good old days, I'd say this: we've still got the summer. Party like no other before you. Let your summer be ruled by glitter and worn jeans as if you were Kesha herself. Because we are living the good old days. Thank you, class of 2013, for making the good old days so good. And congratulations for reaching this massive milestone. We're finally done. Here's Brooks Furley to deliver the valedictorian address.
Hola. My name is Brooks Furley. Many of you may know me for being the new kid who wears stylish socks and Jesus sandals. Please remember that, because I plan on starting a line of sports sandals in the near future. More importantly, we are all here today to celebrate the graduation of the class of 2013. Our future is here. Some of you may be scared out of your mind by me saying that, but let me assure you that you're ready. I've moved often, 11 times to be exact, and never have I seen such a bright, diverse, and fun-loving class like the one at DGN. We have a student going to Harvard, students looking to join law enforcement, students going on to serve their country in the military, and some students looking to serve their communities as teachers. Wherever each one of us is headed, we are going on to make a difference. It is not going to be easy. Some of us will stumble and fall. Others might even briefly fail along the way. But failure is not a measure of success, rather a test of will. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in the moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. So if and when we are knocked down, we will get back up." Recently, the student body of DGF received their yearbooks from this school year. The yearbook turned out exactly as I pictured, or exactly as I saw it throughout the year since my sister Brady was in yearbook class. I think the senior pages are really cool and represent each member of our senior class perfectly. Beyond the baby and senior pictures and loving messages from family and friends is a quote chosen by each senior. My quote and my challenge to each one of you is this. Michael Jordan once said, "Some people want it to happen, some wish it would happen, others make it happen." Class of 2013, our future is here, and it is our time to make it happen. This is the class of 2013. Scholars, athletes, community servants, difference makers, leaders, and believers. Trust me when I say that in 10 years, when we meet for our reunion, hopefully in Vegas, that each student here will be a successful life changer in their own way. There are so many people who have led me to where I am today, and I'd like to highlight some of these people. To God, thank you. I would not be who I am, nor be where I am today, without His guidance and love. Thank you to my loving and caring mom. I still remember crying in elementary school because I did not want to leave her side. I love you. To my dad for being the best coach, mentor, and role model I could have ever asked for. To my older sister, Taylor, my little, yes, still little brother, Clay, no matter how tall he gets, and my baby sister, Brady. Thank you guys for always cheering me on and being my best friends. To the incredible teachers, administrators, and counselor who have worked tirelessly to provide myself and the entire class of 2013 an educational environment full of opportunities to learn and grow. And lastly, and definitely the most important, far superior to anything else in my life, thank you to Matthew Berry, Nate Rabbit, Stefania Bell, and Todd Bader of the ESPN Fantasy Football Podcast Show for making 4 hours on a bus every day bearable. Thank you, and congratulations, DGF Class of 2013.
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hannah Myers, and it is my privilege to introduce our guest speaker for today. Captain Aiken was commissioned as the United States Naval Officer through the Navy ROTC program at Penn State University. Since then, he has served on 7 ships, including an executive officer tour on guided missile destroyer USS Hopper and commanding officer tour on the USS Trumbull. Ashore, Captain Aiken has served as the aide to the Secretary of the Navy and as the Secretary of Defense's liaison to the U.S. Senate. Captain Aiken ended a master's degree from the Naval War College. He is married to the former Tears of Deeper. They have 5 children. Please welcome Captain James Aiken, respective Commodore and Commander Task Force 60.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, family, friends, and graduates. I am honored to be able to share a few thoughts with you today. But before I go into my prepared remarks, Brooks and Luke, that was simply fabulous. They may have been some of the best graduation speeches that I have ever heard. Brooks, I will tell you that I have dunked a basketball. It's overrated. As I prepared for these remarks, I asked a ton of people, hey, what should I say? I asked my brother, who's a headmaster of a Christian school in Western Pennsylvania, what should I say? You know, hey, give me some ideas. He said, hey, do the Jim Valvano, love, live, and laugh. I said, everyone's going to know that. I asked a Marine Corps friend. He said, don't tell them to join the Marines. I was talking to Dan right before, and he mentioned someone who talked about how to find a spouse. I won't tell you how to find a spouse today. As I move into my prepared remarks, let me remind you that King Solomon declared that there is nothing new under the sun. As evidence, graduation speeches have been presented since the Middle Ages. And to verify King Solomon's claim, and yet to seek to give you something to consider, I have chosen to examine one of the shortest and most famous speeches in American history, Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. With Lincoln as my example, I am also committed to be brief. Lincoln's 272-word speech was presented at the dedication of the National Cemetery at Gettysburg 150 years ago this year. President Lincoln was not the keynote speaker that day. He was a backup. Many have estimated that he was even an add-on to that ceremony. Lincoln assessed that the world will little know, nor long remember, what was said there that day. But I am sure you all recall that famous speech, especially since I understand Mr. Jacobs spent significant time on it during your junior year. Well done. Being the son of a Protestant pastor, I naturally have 3 points. From my reading and reflection of Lincoln's speech, I conclude that he challenged his audience to realize a sense of history, a sense of community, and a sense of destiny. 407 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation. Even if you have not committed this speech to memory, I am sure you recall Lincoln's opening. The president challenged his audience to remember history, to remember the good old days, to recall the monumental struggle to bring forth this nation. Graduates, I challenge you today to reflect not only on the history of our great nation, but more importantly, on your history. The story of your family, the story of how you came to be sitting here today. Right now, right here, hundreds of people are here to celebrate you and your accomplishments. And that is no small achievement. The U.S. high school graduation rate rests at about 75%. Beyond that, you have persevered through countless moves and numerous schools. Brooks, I think you alluded to this already, but I think this is school number 11 for you. That is amazing. Graduates, remember your history and allow it to serve as a testimony of hard work, accomplishment, and persistence. Secondly, Lincoln used the word "we" 10 times in his speech. I assess his purpose was to convey to his audience that none of us stands alone. That achievement, true achievement, cannot be accomplished solely. Let us take a moment to consider the community that supported you to this day. Parents and grandparents, siblings, teachers, friends, mentors, coaches, and even enemies. All contributed to your success in earning this milestone. Lincoln demonstrated this quality as well firsthand as he shifted the focus in his speech from himself to the brave men who struggled on that battlefield in central Pennsylvania. The humility of President Lincoln's words remind us that we are part of a community that urges us on to greatness. I would be remiss as a sailor if I did not include a sea story in my remarks today. A number of years ago, I was assigned to a ship that had just excelled in a pretty significant inspection. As a matter of fact, we scored the highest score in the entire fleet. Shortly thereafter, a young sailor engaged me, commenting that I must be really proud of the crew. And of course I was, but I think I surprised him with my response. I conveyed to him that I was very proud, but not solely because of the result, but because of what we achieved. And we achieved something bigger than just individuals. It took a team. It took a community to be successful. And that is exactly what the ship embraced. I am reminded of the old African proverb. It takes a village to raise a child. Graduates, today we celebrate with you and your village. Finally, the English word destiny is derived from the Latin, to make firm or establish. Lincoln conveyed a sense of destiny to his audience, the nation, and even to us today. Lincoln connected the now, using the word here 8 times, with the future. A new birth of freedom for the nation and the preservation of a young republic. Destiny is achieved by balancing the here and now with the vision. Admiral Joe Mobley was a prisoner of war in Vietnam for 5.5 years. I recall an interesting question from a sailor. Admiral, 5.5 years as a prisoner of war. How did you do it? The Admiral took a moment to think, and he responded, and he said, "Young man, have you ever done anything you did not want to do?" He said, "I just did it one day at a time for 5.5 years." The Admiral's destiny of survival demanded his daily focus. While Mr. Surface, Miss Boduck, Miss Tierney, Mr. Jacobs, and the rest of the faculty may chuckle at this comparison, each of you graduates just completed 12 years of school. And I am that you didn't want to be here. Graduates, your efforts and your persistence today will only prosper when properly focused. Lincoln clearly understood the reason to be in Gettysburg. He was there to dedicate, consecrate, and hallow the actions of those brave men. But he also used this opportunity to fortify the resolve towards the higher goal. That this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that the government of the people, by the people, for the people, will not perish. In my preparation for this speech, I came across the most troubling phrase. In Oxford's dictionary's definition of the word destiny, the word was used in a sentence. I quote in part, "No longer control her destiny." I hope and pray that none of us will experience this lot in life. Lincoln used very descriptive words: consecrated, dedicated, resolve, to emphasize the level of effort needed to ensure a brighter tomorrow. Graduates, we cannot change our history. Our ability to determine our community is limited. However, our destiny is determined by our dedication, our consecration, and our resolution today. In closing, few will remember what I've spoken today. But I would like to leave you brave young men and women with a threefold challenge. Celebrate your history. Be grateful for your community. And make today count towards tomorrow and towards your destiny. I thank you, and God bless you all.
Jasmine Martin. Ryan Cusick. Allison Tellez. Sean Mowry. Jessica Landry. Casey Mason. Tiana Garcia. Chris Rios. Antonio Diaz. Adrian Williams. Juan Pablo Fuertes. Olga Kaniki Gonzalez. Brooks Furley. Luke Driscoll. Hannah Myers. Cody Holland. Alexis Babinek. Chester DeCastro. Sierra Thomas. Keisuke Miyazato. Anastasia Bienvenu. Michael Mabunai. And Courtney Bethel.
I have reviewed the transcripts of the students of the class of 2013. And by the power vested in me by the Department of Defense Education Activity as the principal of David Glasgow Farragut High School, I now declare you graduates of the class of 2013. You may now turn your tassels. Please allow the seniors to go out unencumbered to the courtyard so they may prepare for the traditional tossing of the hats. Parents, get your cameras ready.